Distinguished colleagues, under the 54th Senate, I was from the opposition. Under the 54th Senate, I was from the opposition. And I was allowed to be critical. And I was critical on the issues. I stood on this floor almost every session to fight the government to remove Wabodigi from government. I was not anti-Nigerians. I was not anti-foreigners. I was standing on the principle of the law that people who do not meet certain bare minimum legal requirement or qualification cannot occupy government offices. In fact, I was jovially referred to as Wabodigi. By the time I raised my hand here, the whole Senate would laugh, Wabodigi. But I told them, distinguished colleagues, I was in opposition in the 54th when CDC led this Senate. But we pushed in line with our oversight for Zorizo, peace be to the artists, to be denied Senate confirmation. No, I want the person who can be Syrian, I want to don't take us seriously. Honestly. Honestly.
You filed 3 times from
yeah, please. But I brought them, distinguished colleagues. Toga Nimba was named designated chair to head LERC, the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission. He was CDCN. Under a CDC gavel, we led the Senate to reject him. But I brought him, Dillon was nominated by President Weah, a CDCN, under a CDC gavel. Our Senator Dillon, we led that man rejection in the Senate. We were opposition. But I told them, distinguished colleagues, for 3 years, I did not vote for the budget on the record because I was demanding domestic debt list. Once they are here, never did we hear that we were anti-coup people because Samuel Tuer and John we are the coup people. Where is nonsense coming from? Please, Manapote, distinguished colleagues, where is nonsense, left-threatening thing coming from? That when you speak on governance issue, oversight, then you are supposed to be anti-Nimba. My left is threatened, my left is at risk because the people who speaking, I know them. Man, I brought them. Man, I brought them. Man, I brought them. The Minister of Public Works must be brought before the Senate. The Minister of Labor, I want to make the case. If it makes sense, okay. If it doesn't, fine. I can live with it. The Minister of Labor did not go to his house to make a wild allegation to the effect that he was nominated by President Joseph Nimba to be Minister of Justice. His communication, his nomination was that his nomination was formally communicated to the Senate in keeping with the law and the practice, and that our Darius Dillon as senator fought his nomination in the Senate until the president withdrew him. He did not say that in his living room. Madam President Pro Tempore, all of us in the Senate, in our Senate chat room, we have the video. The Minister of Labor, he is angry in our exercise of our oversight responsibility on the work permit issue, went to the government-funded, sanctioned press conference at the MICAT, Ministry of Information, where he said on video, live, that Senator Dillon is against the people from Nimba. It's the same way I'm targeting him because the president nominated him. He letter came here and I fought it until the president withdrew him. In a same press conference at the Ministry of Information, regular weekly press briefing, the Minister of Labor said that that's the same target I used to target Senator Prince Johnson, peace be to his ashes. And that's the same thing I'm doing to him for another Nimba person to die. But I told him, I'm not afraid, but my life is threatened. Your life can be threatened. Why are you being afraid of the threat? You understand? I want to make it clear. Our honor Georgia government and our declared national security threat. I couldn't even move places. But the reason I'm making all these statements in this chamber is because all these things are happening. When the labor minister came here as a nominee, he sat there and I asked him about work permit, what we would do about work permit to give our people a job, and he committed. And I told him that I will vote for you so that after 6 months, you can come give us what we're doing on the work permit issue for our people to get jobs. And in the exercise of that duty, when I confirmed that labor minister that day, my protest distinguished colleagues, I want to make it clear that he was not a cool man when I confirmed him. He was not Bassa. He was not VAR. He was from Nimba when I confirmed him to be Minister of Labor. So my questions on his performance, especially when it has to do with work permit issue, cannot be now that because he's from Nimba and Guillaume. Let me go further. In the Senate chat where I put a video, the Assistant Secretary of MDR, who is a staff at the Ministry of Labor, went on the radio in Nimba County to rally Nimba County that I killed Prince Johnson. And I want to kill another Nimba again. Man, I brought him, distinguished colleagues, Mr. Frederick Bay is the Deputy Director of Communications at the Ministry of Labor. He and 2 other quote-unquote civil society institutions issued damning statements against me. He is the Deputy Communications Director at the Ministry of Labor. Man, I brought him, the minister has said MDR, the people who talking on their own, MDR itself has spoken. Everything the gentleman said to the people of Nimba, in Nimba, on the radio, that I'm doing everything to frustrate Nimba from becoming president. I'm undermining the rescue government unity, and I'm doing it because Liberia Party is all kinds of stuff. The gentleman said all of those things, and in MDR official press conference, all those things are enumerated there. The Minister of Labor himself had gone to government platform to say these things. He's the chairman of MDR. MDR Deputy Secretary has spoken. MDR herself has spoken. Why on the work permitting business is Nimba business coming? When I fought here for us to do domestic debt, even at that, the CDC government did not say I will answer cool people. But what happened today? After audit of domestic debt, officially the GSC reported that the government should not pay $704 million in domestic debt on verified claims. Imagine if we are not fought to bring domestic debt issue to light. Book of claims. This is not joke. This is no joke. You got overzealous people. They'll do anything. So I'm asking the Senate, and let me close. I'm making a case for Mr. Eugene Fagon to be brought before the Senate. Because what he said that we have on tape, video, in our chat room and on social media was not against Senator Snow, was against the Senate. Was against the Senate. At this point in time, Liberia has seen plenty quote-unquote heroes. But by the time they die, they are forgotten. Especially all kind of way. My life is threatened. I'm serious about this. I have no negative will toward Nimba. I just committed my vote. All my colleagues here know I hardly do that. To commit vote in advance, especially doing confirmation hearing to somebody. I committed to Martinez Timber last week because he performed, he convinced me that he can be a good minister of mines. I committed that vote. He's not from Grand Bassa County. He is not from Riverside or Sino or Grandview. He is from Nimba. Senator Taylor, I could be lying down one day. I know those people that are talking. During the war, when war started for Nimba, everywhere a Nimba man who had gone enter, he said Babua because he expected everybody to be from Nimba. I know them. I know them. I know them. They will sit down, they will defend one another. When you put in there, then they quit. I will submit.